Oh, are we at, family? Ha! TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Ha! Sensei Kwabin here. Moment with the master, number what? 22. And today, we're in the thick of it. The power of transformative change. I'm talking to you, family. I'm talking to you and reflecting it back from myself. The power of transformative change. It's come to me in thinking about this that how much are we really interested in the lives of other people? Yes, we have an interest, it's appealing, it sparks our curiosity, but I found something that might come off as a stronger appeal to us. It's the similarities that we see in the lives of other people. It's what reflects back to us that we are valuable, that we are important, that gives us and brings us into closeness with people. We like similarities. We like to see ourselves reflected in the lives of a social order. When we step into a place of interaction, when we step into a place of people dynamics, we gravitate toward those who are akin, who are more alike to us, right? And even when we realize that we have an admiration for someone, we admire them for things that we might aspire to be, that we might grow to become, right? The similarities, the interest in their lives, yes, but more profound is what attracts us to other people. And I go back to that first hallmark of supercharging greatness. And what is that? That's the law of attraction. Do you recall? The law of attraction is the first hallmark of supercharging greatness. So what do we find that we do with the element of attraction? And if we desire to be in one place when we find that we're in this place, we desire to be over here or up here, but we find that we're back here or over here. We go through a process, each of us. We go through this change factory where we are disposing of some things and adopting some other things, and we're getting rid of some things, and we're pulling in some other things that are going to serve us well, right? If we are healthy, then we go through this disposal and adoption process, which is really a very natural process, right? We dismiss or keep things all the time on a daily basis. Text messages, dismissed or kept. Email, yes, dismiss, we dismiss, we get rid of, we retain, we keep. But the dynamic of change sits in the middle. The dynamic of change sits in the middle. And that is a period and moment that we move into what I call, or we might recognize as, transformative change. It's when we transform something. It's not necessarily being disposed, and it's not necessarily being retained in that format. It's being transformed. Is that we transform situations, and it starts by transforming ourselves. Let's get into it. This is the power of transformative change. At the end, listen up, there's going to be 5 keys to transformative change coming up at the end of this broadcast, or this live. 5 keys to transformative change, okay? Now, here's the question I have for us in the audience. Tell me, quietly, send me a message. What scares you? Think about it even to yourself. What scares you? What keeps you in a form of trepidation? Like, I don't know if I want to go forward with that. That's kind of hard. That gives me some pause. I'm not gung-ho. I'm not really motivated to push in that direction. What scares you? Because my suggestion is that in terms of realizing real transformation in areas of our life that we have identified, that we need to go in the direction of what scares us. What scares us about ourselves? What scares us about what we might face? What scares us about how we might respond to some situation? What scares us about what we have as a resource to do what our mind looks forward to doing? What scares us? What scares us? I think I talked about it before, there's a magnet I have on my refrigerator and it says, what would you do? What would you attempt to do if you knew you could not fail? What scares you? If it makes you uncomfortable, it might be good for you. That might be the direction that we need to go in. I don't like it. Go there. This gives me the heebie-jeebies. Go there. I feel ice cold. My heart, trepidation, pounding. Go there. Move into it. Move in that direction. And I will say this because greatness lies inside of all of us. And part of the thing that keeps us from realizing the profoundness of greatness is the resistance to go in that direction of things that make us uncomfortable. Part of the thing that keeps us from realizing greatness is our resistance to go in the direction of things that makes us uncomfortable. And if you remember the one thing that I said, or the first tenet of realizing greatness is that willingness. Willingness, right? Availability. And we put ourselves and we make ourselves available by moving in the direction of the things that makes us uncomfortable so that we can realize supercharged gains. I know this is making sense. This is coming together. So we don't want to let that greatness lay dormant inside of us. We don't want to let it go to the grave with us either. It doesn't even matter. Age doesn't matter. Experience doesn't matter. Profession doesn't matter. Gender doesn't matter. None of it. When greatness is born in you, you're going to start to see these transformative changes in yourself and in the world around you. Last week, what did we talk about? We talked about impact statements. Do you remember we talked about impact statement, or designing an impact statement, and then coupling it with deep visualization? I'm just going back a little bit and pulling something from the last moment with the master. We talked about impact statements and marrying it with deep visualization. We may come up against some things that are required to be moved inside of us in order to move into that space of visualization. Because what we have can't occupy the new arena. What we have can't go to the next level. What we have cannot move with us to the next stage. And so deep visualization and having that impact statement, it might move some things around in us that first we have to deal with those before we can move into the new thing. First we might have to deal with those before we move into the new thing. Like a lot of people might want to be great. A lot of people might want to be profound. A lot of people might want to have advancement and gains, but are we willing to move into the uncomfortable in order to bring out the new thing? Are we positioned for change? That's another aspect, another angle. Are we positioned for change? You know, in tennis, they serve, pop, and then the other person on the other side of the net, poop. Pop, volley, poop, right? And you want to know what? There's a net in between those two players, but at any moment in the game, either one of those players could switch sides and come on the other side of the net. I'm going somewhere with it, right? And just like tennis, that net in tennis represents the change in our lives and where we are positioned in relation to the change. Are we serving change? Boom. Are we serving change? Boom. You want the ace of change? Let's see what you got. Boom. Let's move into the uncomfortable. Are you serving change, or are you on the other side of the net being a recipient and being an experienced person, experiencing change? Am I positioning myself to embrace and manage change and move into change, or am I just being a recipient and an experiencer of change that just happens to be happening in me and around me? In me and around me. And you remember with Supercharging Greatness, we said that one of the main things, one of the 5 hallmarks of supercharged greatness is managing our desires. We have to deal with the inner person. managing those shifts and those turns and those pivots, right? And those stumbling blocks. We have to manage ourselves personally. In order to manage change, right, we have to position ourselves for it. So I say this about change. We put our hands on it. Do we serve? Yes, we do. And we also do this. We also use change as a power tool for our own advancement. A lot of us are scared of change, but through exercise and development, we move into a space where we are using change for our own advancement. Okay? So we have to get uncomfortable, right? We have to get in a place where we decide, you know what? I'm not living like this anymore. I'm doing something different. I'm going to make this change. I'm going to move this mountain. And I'm going to determine that that's my aim. That's my impact. Right? And I'm going to use my visualization to move, and I'm going to be willing to allow myself to experience transformative change. I say we beat that dragon of defeat. We beat the dragon of limitations. We beat the dragon of fear. We beat the dragon of I can't. We beat the dragon of I'm not good enough. We beat the dragon of it wasn't meant for me. We beat the dragon that stands in our way from realizing phenomenal transformative results, even if it requires transformative change. Let me get to this real quick, and then we're done. Five keys of transformative change. 5 quick keys of transformative change. I told you I'd get to it. Number 1, understand the change environment. Home, job, outside, the change environment. What is happening in our midst? Where do we stand? What am I shoulder to shoulder with? Or what is behind me? What's next to me? What's the change environment look like? What are the challenges? What are the pitfalls? What are the hurdles? What's the noise? The change environment. Understand the change environment. 2, identify specifically in yourself and in that change environment. Identify specifically what needs to be changed. Put a finger on it. Put a target on it. Circle it and dot it. Give them that game changer energy. I'll go, send me. Okay? Number 3, prepare the way. Prepare the soil. Right? If we are making change, sometimes we have to make and be aware of the process of change. Right? We can't just throw the bucket of water all on the floor and then mop it up. Put the mop in the bucket, wring it, mop a little bit. The process of change has to be considered. The impact of change has to be considered. Right? Not everybody has the wherewithal to stomach transformative change in one fell swoop. So we have to consider how we paint the canvas with change. Right? We start with the outline. And then we start putting in the structure and the elements and the color. Right? So prepare the soil, and part of preparing the soil is seeking agreement. One of the greatest benefits, I can't go into this here, is finding agreement with the process of transformative change. You can make great things happen. If you have agreement and you have considered the impact of what that change will have an effect on. Let's cut it down. Number 4. Cultivate a culture of ownership. I own it. I'm invested in this. I'm here. What will happen will be as a result of what I put into the mix. I'm an owner, and I'm looking for co-owners. I'm looking for co-partners. I'm looking for those who will have the similar mindset to carry forward the gauntlet, the banner of what we're standing for here. That's the idea about ownership. So we cultivate an environment of ownership and partnership. Okay? And this is number 5. And this is the great thing. This is with that manifesting thing, right? Keep a vivid picture of what the great outcomes will be. Keep the vivid picture of what the great outcomes will be. Okay? Remember, we had intent, action, and manifestation. Keep a vivid picture of what the great outcome will be. That's your 5 keys of transformative change. Understand the change environment. Identify specifically what needs to be changed. Prepare the soil. Seek agreement. Cultivate the culture of ownership. And keep a vivid picture of what great outcomes that you envision. Listen, this is Sensei Kwabin. You already know your moment with the master down here at Dominion Dojo. We're at 222 Lake Avenue in Yonkers, New York. Look us up on dominiondojo.org. And listen, here's what we want you to do. We want you to keep the music of your greatness strong and the magic of your greatness alive. And here's the caution. Don't ever let anyone sow seeds of doubt in your garden of greatness. This is Sensei Kwabin, and as you already know, I'm up out of here. Us!